Gerard, hi everyone. Thanks for dialing into this live, coming direct to you through LinkedIn and Facebook, and maybe also YouTube. I think there might be some of you watching there as well. For those of you that are new to this, we're going to be online for around 30 minutes, diving into the world of PowerHub and their current crowdfunding campaign on PledgeMe. Sophia and Gerard are here to answer our questions, any questions that you might have. So if you're watching this and you'd like to ask a burning question, please just pop into the comments and we'll see it come through. We also like it when you react, so any thumbs up or hearts, especially appreciated, so we know that you're actually there. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Anna, and I'm the co-founder of PledgeMe. We've been going for over 10 years. We actually just this week reached the $80 million pledge through the platform mark, and we've hosted everything from solid shampoo bars through now to wholesale power membership groups with PowerHub. But enough about me. Let's chat to some of our guests. Sophia, you're here with someone new. Do you want to introduce who Robin is?
Good evening. Thanks for everyone that's dialing in or watching. So Robin is a new member of the team with PowerHub. He's the mastermind and curator for the skill that we've been using to do the bill analysis. Robin is also busy developing an online tool. So I'd let you, Robin, introduce yourself and talk about the project you're working on.
Hey everyone, I'm a software developer engineer, and I'm building a skill so you can take your power bills and upload them on not a skill, I'm building an online tool now, so that you can take your power bills and upload them on the internet and get a comparison between PowerHub's bill price and what you're just being charged by your retailer, so you can see how much better off you'd be with PowerHub.
Awesome. And how's it going? How's the build going?
Oh, it's lots of fun. I'm building it using AI. And so that's a different way of building software to what I'm used to. I could tell you all about that, but I don't want to overwhelm you with the world of software development, so I won't. It's different.
And you've put a few builds through this now. What are you learning about it? What are you seeing?
So there are many different retailers in New Zealand, and there are many different ways they bill for power. It makes building a online calculator this quite challenging, but also very interesting. But ultimately, it all boils down to trying to model half-hour power usage for a bill where you don't necessarily have all of the data. And so we have to make some assumptions. And at the end of the day, they shape some of the answers, but mostly the prices during the day shape it as well. And so it's interesting trying to make all that work. Let's just say that.
Awesome. Sophia and Gerard, did you have any things that you wanted to ask Robin right now while we have him online?
Yeah, what I find it very interesting is this concept of using tokens. You know how we pay for a level of subscription, and the work that Robin is doing, he just keeps maxing out. Robin, how much are you spending on tokens at the moment for this piece of work?
Well, I run two different AI sessions at the same time to build this. One I'm usually using to make the front end, and one I'm using to make the back end, and then I merge the code, so I'm acting like two developers simultaneously. Sometimes I'm also doing things like importing data and massaging it around and doing things like that with another session, and then maybe another one where I'm asking it something about architecture. So I usually pretty much run out of tokens all the time. I'm running the max plan, and I'm maxed out most of the time, waiting for time to run out. When my 5-hour window gets close to its limit, I usually just go and have a nice break. It's a good time to after 5 hours anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an enforced break. And when can we expect to see this app that will analyze people's bills?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd like to think any day now. So that's my goal, is basically I'm trying to get it done tomorrow. And if I can't get it done tomorrow, it's the day after. So I'm working on it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, what I find it really interesting is that in this database for the online tool, Robin has downloaded half-hour data per GXP across the whole of New Zealand. This is a massive database. We've not had this before. What that also means is when we publish this tool online, you upload your bills, doesn't matter whether it's 6 months or 12 months or longer, within the past 10 years, the feedback and analysis you get is under 2 minutes because we actually host that database already.
Amazing. So this will be live within the next few days, but in the meantime, people can still email you through their bills if they'd like to get them analyzed using the Claude skill. Is that correct, Sophia?
Correct, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what I was going to say as well. So in the meantime, while we're getting Robin's skill uploaded onto the web, we can do that. Either excuse me, Sophia or myself. And it's been quite interesting for us to see the different types of bills between Genesis or PowerHub or sorry, PowerShop. And they're all different. They all look different. And Robin, credit to him for getting Claude to look at each one and picking out the right usage. They all do stuff slightly differently. What we want to do at PowerHub is make it more transparent, so it's easy to understand your bill and easy to work out what you're paying for energy, what you're paying for the add-ons, so the line company, the metering company, and what have you. So, when we get round to our billing, it will look, I think, very simple for people to understand what's going on out there. But yes, some of the bills are very complex, aren't they, Robin?
Yeah, one of the other things that I'm doing is using the data to test with that you guys have provided to Sophia. And so when I have it on my list of features for the site is, I haven't even told you this one, Sophia, is to be able to then have an admin such as Sophia who can add these bills into it online herself, to be able to share it with you via email so only you can see it again afterwards, so then you can log in and see your own bill data and stuff like that. If you do upload your own bills on the website, you'll also be able to make a login and then come back to it later on to look at it again.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, to anybody listening out there, if you want to see what it would look like buying power from PowerHub at wholesale rates, until Robin gets the tool up on the web, feel free to come through to either Sophia or myself or our info@powerhubgroup.com email, and we can do it manually for you and show you. So we've had lots of requests, haven't we, Sophia, on that side of things.
Awesome. If we don't have any more questions for Robin, but I'll give people like 10 seconds to pop them through, we might let him go because he's still building this, and he said that he'd like this time now to be building. So there's no more questions. We'll let Robin go. I'll give people a few more seconds. We do have a question that came through in the meantime while we wait that asked, are you finding more interest from homeowners or commercial users for the wholesale rates right now?
It's a great question.
It's a mixture of both, isn't it? So, sorry, Sophia, but generally homeowners. But then the question leads on to, well, actually, I have this business that I'm doing. Do you guys do commercial? And the answer is yes, we definitely do commercial. And it's the same process that you work through. Send us your commercial bill, and we'll analyse what that looks like and give you a response.
Will Robin be able to handle that too? Is that going to work on the web app?
Absolutely.
The web app's going to. This is the plan. The web app's going to be able to handle any kind of rate structure that's in a bill. That's basically what I'm working towards. The more data we get from the bill, the more we can make those assumptions make sense. And a couple of customers have given us full consumption data for every half hour. And if you can give us full consumption data for the half hour, then we don't have to make any assumptions. I've still got to figure out how to consume that data, so give me a moment on that one. But that's okay. That's what AI is for. We'll figure it out, no problem. So if you can give us full consumption data in some sort of standardized format, like a CSV file or whatever the power provider is giving you, we should be able to consume that. And then there are no assumptions. We'll use your actual usage data.
Amazing. Okay, Robin, we're going to let you go and we're going to move into some other questions. But thanks for joining us and sharing what you're up to, and good luck getting it all.
It was a pleasure. Thanks to everyone. I'll see you again another time.
Thank you, Rob.
Zero. Awesome. If anyone has any questions, do feel free to pop them through. I'll ask them as they come. But I have another question for Sophia. Can you give us an update on how things are going? How's the planning for your membership launch going?
Yeah, so today we're 65% funded, or $420,000 and above. This for Gerard and I, and also the PledgeMe team. We're just overwhelmed with the support that's out there. This is not people who don't understand our strategy. In fact, they're very well informed. They came to us with very considered questions, showed us their power bill. Some people downloaded the consumption data from the retailer, but that actually comes from the metering company to show us and for us to analyze their bill better. So we're really, really grateful. They are well on their journey for electrification. They probably already have solar, EV, not necessarily a battery, but even if they've got the suite of all the tools, they can still be a member and then actually buy electricity at a wholesale rate. At the moment, for the period of the campaign, we're putting a 10% margin on. So this is only available for the period when we run the PledgeMe campaign.
So what happens if people miss out on this campaign? What will happen if they sign up after PledgeMe closes?
So we need to first and foremost work out a successful and seamless process to onboard our members. We can do them manually, but we want to do it in a very streamlined, systematic way. And then once we finish that, the group of members that came to us, first mover advantage, we will make sure there's no challenges, it's all humming. We will then work on the next batch of membership acquisition. At that point, we'll just have a look at our model to see, do we need more R&D? Are the situations going to be a bit more complex? Are there more problems for us to solve? Do we need more FTEs for the company to then support the next phase of the journey? So we don't know what that number is, but 10 is really as lean as it can get, you know.
Yeah, awesome. And Gerard, what kind of questions have you been getting? What are people coming through with as they're thinking about pledging to this campaign or becoming members?
Well, it's been, really interesting. People have been, as Sophia said, thinking about it a lot and thinking about the wholesale market and the ups and downs of the wholesale market, and asking how we can smooth out that wholesale if things spike, as sometimes they did in the past. And what we saying to them is, two things. One, look at the average price of wholesale power over the last year. And the wholesale price was around 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Add on our 10% margin to cover our costs, that's 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but Mercury charges me 27 cents per kilowatt hour. So there's a saving of 16 cents on average across the year. And if I'm prepared to take that average rate, then I'm going to be up around about $1,000, a little bit more across the year. But what we're doing slightly differently is saying to people, you can add on the battery to give you confidence that in a time of high wholesale prices, you can draw from the battery. And that's 15 kilowatt hours, which for an average house, it depends what you've got on, but 4, 5, 6 hours maybe. You wouldn't want to charge your electric car off it because that's not going to work. But it'll cover your basics. It'll cover your cooking, your oven, your refrigerator, and what have you. So that's really a key question that people are asking. And how it works, how the membership works, and exactly the question is, well, what happens after the 10% period is done? And our answer to that is, we're really concentrated on those people who come in as first movers, because those are the ones who are going to get us across the line to get this thing working. So we're going to value that contribution, which means that the next group, it won't be 10%, it'll be probably slightly higher, because there'll be costs that we haven't thought of that need to come in to that as the cohort increases. So this first group is really getting the benefit of a very sharp price in the wholesale market. Because you've come along with us on the journey and made this work. This is a great thing. So from people calling in off the back of the newspaper articles that Sophia has done, we're also getting a lot of support from industry players, which is really interesting. Not the big retailers, because they've got their space, but from other companies like ourselves who are trying to change how power is bought in New Zealand. So there's been a lot of support for the idea that we're bringing to bear. So it's been quite exciting. It's a nice feeling to have that we're not off doing something that's really out on the fringes. This is something that people in the industry have said, yeah, if you're going to do it, this is the right way to do it. Sophia?
I agree. I think Business Desk produced a really balanced and articulate article. And in fact, the same article got a rerun on the Sunday papers for being the best story of the week. So it compared us to a couple of other models that were in the market once upon a time, looked at why it was attractive for a while and it didn't quite work for certain challenges. Market conditions also prevailed as well. And then how PowerHub is trying to differentiate itself and how to overcome those challenges. Of course, there will be other challenges we ourselves haven't thought about. This is why we want to actually invite the members to come and join us on the journey. We can collectively try and test and experiment, and hopefully we can solve this together, because it is a community engagement. Yeah.
Awesome. We have a question from Sally. She's asked, is there software that PowerHub has designed to instruct your household system when to use the power from the grid and when to use the battery? How does that work?
This is a great question, Sally. So we do have a BMS, or battery management system. So our Fever 1 home battery allows for integration from the diesel generator if the generator has an automatic transfer switch, which means the BMS software can tell the generator to turn on or off. We can also integrate existing solar panels if the household has already got them. And more importantly, we can also accept the grid energy that comes through the revenue meter. So essentially the priorities or the order of things that happens is during the day, if solar is working, first, the solar generated energy will be supplied to the household loads. If you're cooking or using lighting, for example, that's where the electricity will be consumed first. Any excess solar will get stored into the battery. At night, if the wholesale market is really, really cheap, this is the opportunity for the battery to be charging. And at the same time, it doesn't stop the households from turning on the dryers, washing machine, dishwashers, and to be using the cheap energy at the same time. And if, let's say, the grid is down, there's no solar, but you do have the generator also connected, this is where the BMS will be telling the generator to turn on. So then the generated electricity will first service the household or the load before storing into the battery for use later on, before we work out whether solar is back or not because it's during the day, or if the grid is back or not. So we're promoting an optimized energy solution for families. Yeah.
Awesome. If anyone else has any questions, please feel free to pop them through and we'll make sure that Gerard or Sophia answers them. You announced a referral program today for the last week of the campaign. Would you like to talk us through what that looks like?
So for the next 7 days, including today, for people who pledge and join us or pledges already in our cohort, if you refer a friend, then on your bill, we will give you $25 if your friend chooses the 3-year or 6-year term, or $50 if your friend chooses a 12-year term. But more importantly, we're hosting drinks one of the days in the month of June, at a location to be advised. So Gerard, myself, Robin, and a few others will, be present, hosting you, and then we can talk about the journey up to this point and what happens next.
Awesome. And you've gotten a lot of media coverage over the last few weeks. What's been a highlight for you in that?
So it is a new experience for us, and we're very grateful to receive the coverage. It is earned or unpaid media, so I guess it just means our story is worth covering. Journalists felt that it's topical. There's some merits in writing a story about it. So Radio New Zealand, Business Desk, and New Zealand Herald also published an opinion piece, which were very exciting. Yeah.
Awesome. And Gerard, you were saying that you've had a few people ask, how confident are you that you're going to make it? What have you been saying to them?
Well, we're saying we're very confident. 65% pledged after this period of time. It seems like every time I go onto the website, it's increased by quite a lot. You've told us that in PledgeMe's history, it tends to be that 80% gets pledged in the last couple of days. So here we are up to 65%. So I felt that we've struck a chord of people looking to come on this journey with us. And part of the referral program is, we've got 65% people who have said, yeah, we think you're onto a good idea. Now we're just trying to say, well, please go out and spread the word, and we'll give you a credit in terms of doing that, because we think it's a great idea. We're buying into it. We've got, over 170 people now who have said, yep, this is a great idea. So to push it on across the line, please, those people who are thinking about pledging, do that. Talk to your friends, reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions, jump on the phone or by email. And let's push on. So we've got 7 days until the end of this pledge campaign. I think we'll get very close, if not over. I'm very positive, Anna.
What we find is once people get over halfway, they almost never don't make it, if that makes sense. So you've got that crowd that have gotten you to the halfway mark. So really, they're behind you and they're sharing once you get close to the line. But yeah, I think you're doing all the right things.
I think we've struck a chord of people who have seen their power bills increasing by quite a lot. Another thing I've seen in the discussions with people calling in is that they've just come off fixed term contracts with the big energy providers, and their power prices are jumping 25%. So using the tool that we had been that we're using on the old bills, it was still better to use PowerHub and the wholesale mode. Now it's a much better scheme as well. And it just seems that at the moment there's a lot of people coming off contracts that have been around for 2 years or so. So life isn't getting any cheaper out there. We've got inflation still going, petrol prices are still high. Sophia and I are very passionate about giving people cheaper power if we can do it, and this wholesale market is the way to do it. Long answer to your question, but feeling very positive, Anna.
Awesome. If anyone else has any questions out there, we'll be online for a few more minutes, so please feel free to pop anything in the comments and I'll make sure that Gerard or Sophia responds. But maybe just quickly talk us through what are actually the reward levels that people can pledge for right now?
Would you like to take this question, Gerard?
Well, at the moment we have 3 years, so sign up for 3 years at 355. 20, I guess I do. I haven't got it in front of me. 6 years at just over $500 and 12 years at just over $1,000. Now, what you get for that is the ability to have access to the wholesale market, energy prices, plus a 10% margin. So that's that 10% is fixed over the life of that term that you buy in. We'll pass through the other costs, which are the line costs, the metering costs, NZX costs, who does the clearing at cost price. So there'll be no margin for us. That means you're set in for however many years that you decide to be a member for. At the end of, say, 3 years, and if you want to stay with PowerHub, you would move into whatever the scheme is at that point in time, whether that's 10% or more. We'll determine that when we get there. But of course, if you do the 12 years, you're locked in a 10% margin for the next 12 years. So obviously, we'd like to see people coming into the 12 years, and I think the vast majority of people have come in to the 12 years. So that's really, really supportive. So those are the tiers that we have. And as going back to my earlier comment, it's about giving the people who have supported us in this initial journey a benefit for doing that. And it gives the company the ability to go out, post the bonds that we need to for the New Zealand Stock Exchange and for the local power companies, the fixed costs in terms of getting this up and running with people who need to do reconciliation work and Robin, who's doing great work for us, get it working and providing cheaper power to the people.
Awesome. If there are no more questions, I might just ask you, Sophia, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, thank you. This is the third session of a live stream. Again, a new experience for us. It's a great way to communicate with our cohort. I think we might actually use this going forward with our members, especially if they're not based in Auckland. Yeah, very, very grateful. We thought we had an idea. This really just validated this idea. And when we make a start, it will be profitable from day one. How amazing is this? It's very different from a traditional VC where we raise some capital, busy sort of trying to reach KPIs on a treadmill. And then at some point in the future, we might reach break even. So if you do come along as a member, we've structured it so that it's positive on the profit and loss and positive on the balance sheet. So in case people are wondering what happens, there has been a couple of trader default situations in New Zealand. Because electricity is a essential service, Electricity Authority will just pick up the customers or members for us and allocate it out. But as I mentioned, Gerard comes from an auditing background and we structure the business model to actually show positives from day one. And that's actually what's really exciting about our business model.
Sophia, I remember in our early conversations, I kept on trying to tell you, I was like, this will be the biggest campaign ever. Like, it's so big. Are you sure? And you were like, Anna, don't talk me out of this. This is what we're trying. And I was like, okay. But I love when I'm proven wrong. You're doing such a great job. I actually mentioned it in an event last week I was speaking at. I was like, I love being proved wrong. Let me tell you about Sophia. So yeah,
thank you.
You're doing such a great job. Gerard, is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
And I think, as Sophia said, we want to make this profitable, which means that we're sustainable. So people say, are you going to be around for 12 years? We're not starting this off making a big loss and then trying to claw it back. This is why we've done the scheme. We want to be profitable and sustainable for 12 years. And that is another question that people are asking us, are you going to be around for 12 years? Well, of course we're going to be if we're making profit for us and giving benefits to our clients and giving good members, giving good service. So I just want to say thank you for those who have joined us. Those who are thinking about it, again, feel free to reach out to us and talk to us. We're happy to talk by phone or by email. And thank you for joining us tonight. So, really happy to have you here. And thank you, Anna.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. If you'd like to learn more about the campaign, just head over to pledgeme.co.nz. It's on the homepage. Look up PowerHub. Over $420,000 already pledged to the campaign from 170 plus members, and it's just going to keep growing from there. So get on board. If you have any questions, either get in touch with the PowerHub team or email us on contact@pledgeme.co.nz. Have a lovely night. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you all.
guys.